Hello and welcome to Vaesen, the Devil You Know. I am the Scarred Adventurer, the great and mighty narrator of this game. Our game is Vaesen, a Nordic horror role-playing. Our background art is from Pixabay, and our character art is from Marcia Joseph. Her Discord username is below. Contact her for any art you'd like done. Now, normally we do an intro to our players and what they might do right at the beginning of the show. We are still doing that, but this is just our content warning for the game you're about to see. Now, the game Vaesen, a Nordic horror role-playing, is just what it sounds like. A horror tabletop role-playing game. We will be dealing with sensitive and potentially upsetting issues. Anything can happen in the story we are going to play out. Characters can die, they can be brutally hurt and traumatized, and we may deal with some fairly adult themes. My players all have an X card to play at any time should something be too much. But you, as the audience, don't have that same power. So I want to warn you in advance. This is not a show for children, the faint of heart, or those uncomfortable with horror based themes. Now, before you immediately hop off, I'm not asking you to forego the show. In fact, quite the opposite. Please stay and watch. I just want to prepare you for the worst. There's no shame in choosing something else to enjoy. Your safety is priority. Now, with all that having been said, if you choose to stick around, I really hope you do enjoy what we're bringing you. Be good to yourself, and as we always say at Dirty 20 Gaming, be nice to each other. Enjoy the show. Now, back into the uncaring stage persona. Now, each of these wonderful, slightly crazy people have I need to change that into fully crazy people who have agreed to join us for the game tonight. As we get them to introduce themselves this session, we start with Sarah Sands. Please tell us what you're up to outside of this.
Yes, well, I didn't have anything up. Yes, hi, my name is Sarah. You can find me over on Tangor Productions. We have a YouTube and a Twitch channel where we do live stream video games every so often. I'm not good at this content creators thing yet. You can find me over on Tango Productions working with the Scarred Adventurer on a couple of different things. It is coming eventually. If you want to find me here any other week, any other day, when the Tuesday game is back up, I will be playing Magic in our over there, Carnage Heights. There we go. I am also sick, and I'm fighting it off. So if my brain is even worse than normal, yeah. On Wednesday, when that game comes back, I will be playing Crimson Rave. On Thursday, I DM the Fool's Gold campaign. I think that is it.
I believe so as well. All right. Now, next, we bring you Siosa. Please tell us what you do outside of this. The silence is
I'm super
deafening.
awesome at technology. I'm Siosa, and you can find me on Dirty 20's Discord. Beyond that, I'm mostly allergic to social media. I'm working on another campaign for D20, but I'll share some news when I'm closer to that.
Excellent. Now, next we are going to go to Tooth Ruth. Please tell us what you do outside of this.
My best.
Wonderful.
When Tuesday happens again, it's not a real day right now. I'll be here as exit. And when Wednesday starts happening again, Wednesday's not a real day. Until that, I will be here as Maeve. And that's about it.
All right. Excellent. Next, we will go to our lovely Rory. Please tell us what you do outside of this.
Hello. Mostly, at least lately with, pardon me, with post-secondary starting to wind down, I've been working on a lot of school, which it's fun, but it gets exhausting. Whenever I have time, I try to work on music. I usually upload stuff that's work in progress slash not able to be put on platforms like Spotify to SoundCloud. There's that. Besides that, I have moved into a slightly larger space relatively recently, so I have some plans to hopefully start streaming some DJ sets and maybe some games eventually, but that's still a big work in progress on that one. So that's more updates to come, like who knows when. That's about it, really.
All right. And we also thank your cat for their wonderful commentary.
Yep.
Once
She's
again,
She's
the
not
office
allowed
is
in
a
our
no pet
office.
space.
once again, I am the Scarred Adventurer, the narrator of this game. When I'm not narrating, I am here on Tuesdays as Red Death in our Cyberpunk Red game, run by Bison Stonefist. On Wednesdays, I will be found as Fane and Samson. That's his name. God damn it. It's Fane and Samson on our Wednesday game, Into the Shadowlands, by our wonderful Welcome to the Shadowlands by our wonderful Shadow. On Thursdays, you will find me here as not this anymore. I need to update this. You will find me as Lucas Alexander Workrest in our Fool's Gold campaign, King's Pyrite, run by Sarah. Finally, I am working with Tangor Productions again with Sarah to eventually bring stuff to you, the people. Yes, you may all bow to me now. I'm kidding. Please don't ever do that. That would be very weird. Still, enough weird fumfering and this. We are going to join our protagonists back at Castle Greenwood after having successfully completed their first mystery. Now, our protagonists awaken to the sound of bells that drag them. Some of them thanking the dragging, some of them kind of kicking and screaming from being dragged out by these strange dreams they were having. The bells that they hear are not just those that they are dreaming of, but those for breakfast. Upon the wall closest to the hall and next to the door rests a small set of bells on strings that have small labels on them. Some of these labels are indecipherable, but you can make it a few of them, including kitchen, courtyard, front doors, dining room, infirmary, library, and occult parlor. Okay, wow, it says occult parlor. Weird. Anyways, what the hell is that? But, you guys all head down for some breakfast. What do you guys talk about during breakfast? Or is this one of those chilly, only one step away from divorce kind of dining tables?
I'm not sure if I would go that far. I think it's a bit more of a no conversation till I've had my whatever we have for coffee. But
I mean, you have tea. Where you are near enough to the Netherlands, coffee would definitely be something you do. I don't think you do a lot of tea, actually.
I guess it would
because,
be more coffee.
Yeah, because one of the weird things, fun thing, when, especially the Dutch, when they started using, when they were introduced to tea, they treated it like coffee, which is the wrong way to prepare tea. So they hated it really badly. It's very funny.
Oh.
If you were there, which I definitely wasn't. But you've all had strange dreams. In front of you is a lovely breakfast that seems to be exactly what you wanted to have this morning. For some strange reason, this is what you wanted. And yet, how the hell did they know what you wanted?
I think on the scale of strangeness that we've seen at the castle, that's fairly low tier.
Pretty much is.
Can you do a quick, sort of flash over what the dreams were? It's like one of the things I forgot about at the end of the last session.
Yes, the dreams you had. Oh dear. The last session, you guys all had particular dreams, and I'm now pulling up all my notes. Yes, I'm a very, very professional person. Some of you had dreams relating to, two of you had nightmares and two of you had pleasant dreams. Some of the things about what's to come and what may be a vision of the future, or may not be a vision of the future. It depends on what may be. Possibilities are all up in the air right now. No one knows what's going to happen. Some of you dreamt of yourself in such a way. where one would look into a mystical well or lake or any sort of reflective surface, only to see something that they aren't. And I don't remember what the third dream was. In my notes somewhere, and I can't find it. I'm a professional.
So I think Charlie was one of the people who had one of the less nightmarish dreams, which was for him sort of a standout because he's been having nightmares for years now, since he was a child. So he's definitely sort of like quiet and reflective. And at breakfast, he's got like a small plate of like toast and eggs, and he's got, instead of tea or coffee, he's got actually some cider there. But he's not eating or drinking like he should because he's busy like drawing his journal. And there's definitely like an image of water and of himself and sort of, like an altered reflection. So and he never really like hides what he's working on. So anybody who wants to look over his shoulder or whatnot can see what he's doing.
It also then begs into question, are you guys sitting as far away from each other as possible, or kind of relatively clumpy?
I'd say Anya probably would have just sat down, not really thinking of her proximity to anyone else. She's used to going to bed really late and waking up really early, so she was probably the first one down.
Okay.
Lily's gonna try and get everybody kind of sitting together. Not purposefully, but like if like Anya and Charlie are kind of sitting far away, she'll sit right in the middle. And I had to look back at the rolls. It looks like Lily had a really good dream. I just don't remember it. And if that is true, that she did have like not nightmares, not bad dreams, she's probably very confused and shuffling her deck almost in a way that looks anxious.
All right.
Yeah, that's sounds about right. Aegot wouldn't pick any like super far away seat. Walks with Bruford down the stairs and is very sleepily. Clearly, he's probably not had the best of sleep. Sits down to his plate of just like fruit and spiced bread. Hands Bruford kind of a scrap of maybe rib or something from the dinner before.
Oh no, Bruford has been given his own breakfast as well.
Oh.
In fact, you hear little pitter patter of footsteps quickly running to get the dog his plate. But it's not just one pitter patter of footsteps that you hear. It is in fact a set of them.
Oh.
Does anyone care to look to see who they
Yeah.
are?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if that set of footsteps sounds familiar. Oh, bless you.
Gesundheit. And in fact, it is not familiar, for they sound kind of like a mix between a hoof and a foot. Not like one hoof, 1 foot, but like the sound a hoof would make on stone, but almost like a flip-flop sound attached to it. Like clop, clop, as opposed to clop, 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 clop.
What do I need to roll to look at this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't need to roll anything. You look down, you see a being even smaller than your little amphibious friend that you all met last time. And he's a small, from the waist down, very furry, but wearing a nice little apron, a little tiny chef hat, has a set of nicely sized horns that appear maybe a bit big for his head. A nice big round nose, and two eyes that manage to both be completely inky pools of black, but look right through you at the same time. Hello, friends. Yes, we forget doggy breakfast. Obi just come out here to say hello because Obi like people, and also because Obi noticed that there's some worms over there, and Obi gonna go get those. But beside that, Obi want to introduce you to Fernando.
Ah,
Uh,
hello, Fernando. It's a pleasure to meet you.
hello. Yes, it is I, Fernando. And then Obi kind of motions to Agate, considering you were the first one to speak, and just goes, be very careful. Try not to mention he less 2 feet. So don't mention it mistake. He gets slightly defensive.
That's understandable, I would say.
Yes. Okay, Obi go for mealworms. You all have fun time with Fernando. Yeah! And then you see Obi the first time look a little nervous as he walks over to get some mealworms that he found in the corner of the castle.
Oh, Obi. Fernando is quite small, right?
Yes, Obi is 3 feet tall,
Okay.
and he is smaller than Obi.
Right.
And when you look at him, his feet appear fine. Like, he doesn't appear to have less than 2 feet. He appears to have exactly 2 feet.
Huh.
Something about what Obi says doesn't quite match up.
Well, he kind of reaches down instinctually to shake a hand, and then, oh, sorry, did that?
No, he's fine. Fernando would love to shake hands, and 2 hands go and clasp around 2 of your fingers. As he goes, yes, everyone likes Fernando's food. Fernando is fantastic chef, or at least that is what everyone tells
yes.
Fernando.
Well, the food is very good. Much
Yes.
appreciate the attention to the breakfast.
Oh yes, you see, Fernando work with a ghost that help look into your brains as you sleep, and then tell Fernando what you want for breakfast. That is all Ghost does. He's not very good at many other things. But that ghost able to do that and go, this person feel hungry for scrambled eggs. And so then Fernando make.
That
Does the ghost remember any other dreams?
Explains the specificity.
No, it appears that ghosts only speak in terms of breakfast. We call him Breckers.
On the note of ghosts, Anya is probably reading the book that she didn't get the chance to read before we were slept.
Yes. On the subject of ghosts, the book does open and it says, it does say ghost, but then it kind of crosses out and writes ghast instead. Just replacing the O with an A. And then going, can only focus on one thing. Seems powerful psychic, but not very powerful at anything. Especially explaining. Tell Fernando I say hi.
Fernando, the book says hi.
Fernando would like to say hi to the book as well.
Be my guest. She holds up.
Hello. Lovely conversation with Fernando.
And she's specifically looking for the term Draugr, which was
Draugr. As you look into the book for Draugr, you see the term. You see a very familiar shape and something that isn't, but at the same time unfamiliar. As it sits up on a table that both is and isn't an operating table. and underneath it writes the words similar to zombie. Nordic tradition, bury dead, dead come back.
Is there any more information on like why and how that happens? Whether they do it on their own or like whether they essentially become undead on their own?
That it does not. It
Mm.
unfortunately can't read your mind for exactly what you're looking for.
Well, she's reading to see if it's there.
Yes, but
She
it
wants
doesn't
more
say quite yet.
information.
There's
Okay.
it seems like there is more information to garner from it. Because there are still empty sections on these 2 pages. A set of pages, but nothing more seems to be there at the moment.
Just really thinking on those empty spaces.
And you see the faintest whisper of the words summon and inhabitant and Helheim.
What?
But not quite in that order. And so small and so difficult to see, you're not certain you saw them to begin with.
She's just gonna take her time with the book as she eats.
So Fernando is happy you are all having great breakfasts. Fernando will head back to kitchen if no one has any need of Fernando.
I just have a question.
Thank you very
for
much,
Fernando.
by the way.
I just have a question for Fernando. Of like, what manner of spirit? Like, what do you prefer to be called?
Oh, you were curious as to what Fernando is.
Yes.
Well, at this he clambers onto the table, but he has to like drag himself up. So it's an effort, and it's one of those like
hand.
he kind of looks at it a little disdainfully, kind of like, no. You see, Fernando can handle this on own. Not problem for a tall person like Fernando. And then he gets up onto the table. There's a little bowl filled with different looking orbs as the centerpiece of the table. He picks up the bowl, tosses the orbs out of the bowl, flips the bowl upside down, and sits on the bowl. You see, Fernando is a very specific type of spirit, or some would call demon. You see, Fernando is what is called an ukobak. Is Book getting this down? And yes, indeed, the book is getting it down.
Yeah, because Anya has the book that Creature gave her, and then the one that was in her room when they arrived.
Yes.
She opens that one.
Yes, the one that you've got when you arrived in your room is opened, and it says ukobak. Ukobak, and then it's and under the list of qualities, it quickly goes sexy, and then it quickly crosses that out and goes nothing. You didn't see anything, and crosses that out again, and disappears.
Anya kind of laughs. Yes, the book is getting it down.
Excellent. So you see, ukobak is kind of stove spirit, also kind of cooking spirit. So we very good at making delicious foods.
So you're like a Domo boy, but just for kitchens.
Yes, whatever that means.
He says it was a spirit. He says at the first orphanage I stayed at. He says I didn't know they were real at the time, but the lady who ran the orphanage was always leaving out food and water for. Said it was the protector of the household.
Oh no, no, you be thinking more my friend Louise de Maison. You know Louise de Maison.
Haven't met yet, but if she's the Domovoy, I'd like to.
He's a little mouse, right?
Yes, also known as Brownie. Fernando, go get. Just so we round out this grand experience of breakfast. And he runs off. And suddenly a little mouse-looking fellow about the size of a cat, walking on his hind legs, walks in. Hello, it is Louise de Maison. You have been calling for me.
I asked Fernando about the Domovoy of the castle,
Oh,
and he said that
well,
that you were the a brownie and the closest thing the castle might have.
yes. Well, you see, a domovoy is quite a lot like. I'm mixing up accents. A domovoy is quite a lot like a brownie in some ways, but you see, they are like a distant cousin. You see, we both accept payments of porridge, but they like vodka with their porridge, and we like honey. So it's similar. We both have spirits, and we both take care of things.
So you would probably know the castle better than anyone else.
Me? Of course I know the castle better than anyone else. Why? Did someone tell you otherwise? Did Fernando say otherwise?
No, I was just wondering if perhaps we could get a proper tour of everything.
Oh, yes. Actually,
Thought we did. Oh, that's right. Charlie wasn't here.
I was in the library for a while.
yes. Your friends have been on a lovely excursion. They can show you as well. But, Master Creature, he did ask me to give you this. And he rolls out a piece of paper onto the table.
Is there anything
that
on
he shows you and goes, so now that you are here, we've also decided that we want to change the name Greenwood for the castle. Because Greenwood was the name of terrible man. Terrible, terrible man. Who, yes, I know, this is getting into real life. Terrible, terrible man, who we no really want continue talking about. So we give you all option. We give you all the options to change the name. Yes? That is part one of your mission. That is part one of the thing Master Creature wanted you to do. The other part that Master Creature wanted you to do was simple, that he wanted you to simply go and decide and tell us what things you want to improve the castle for. You see, a lot of the time when we go out on these adventures, when you go out on these adventures, our name spreads and we gain donations. And sometimes you receive payment from your employer. Did you receive payment from your employer?
They died.
Oh yeah.
So no. Okay. So we have donations and payment from employers. This time, no payment from employers this time, which is a shame. But
We got a doula hat.
Oh yes, yes. He's already down in the stables. He's getting ready. Make sure you say hi to him. I believe he would enjoy you saying hi to him. Did he say he was going to move in?
No, but at least I'm not opposed. Peter is.
He said he was going to
nice.
help us.
Yes, that is what he
Yes.
meant by helping you.
Yes, I suppose. this
Oh
is
yeah, I
his-
thought I'd been told it was the character that he had already moved in. I might have mistaken that. Misremembered it.
Levy. Where I put notes in all the wrong places. But yes, Peter. But yes, this Peter McClancy We'll be very happy to see you later. But here are some facilities and places in the castle, and with the donations that we have received, and a little bit that we have found in the treasury, and maybe from other people's pockets when they forget things. We have the monies to make some improvements. So, as we get ready to make these improvements, we shall quickly look over our finances. And this is where I will actually, out of character and in GM talk, will walk you through some of the ways we earn development points for Vaesen, the Devil You Know. After every mystery, we get to ask ourselves the question for development points. These lovely 8 questions, and every one we say yes to, we earn 1 development point. As our wonderful Louis has said, we are, as our lovely Louise has said, there is some stuff that we found in the treasury, and some stuff that they clearly robbed people from, but we don't talk about the people that got robbed. Shh, our secret. Anyways, so even though you were not paid a resource point for your last mystery, you still did earn resource points for things that you yourself can then try and fix up as well when you help out anyone working in the area. Mostly Elmer. It's mostly going to be Elmer the Goblin that is building these things. Why? Because he's an overworked guy, and no one. And anytime someone suggests, "Hey, you want some help with that?" Elmer goes, "Fuck off." So it's just great. But the questions that we will be asking, and please do answer in the affirmative or the negative as we go through these questions, will be: did you play at least one scene at the headquarters during the last mystery? And that includes prep work that we did before we went on the mystery itself.
We did.
Yes.
That's 1 point. The next question is, did you encounter a new type of Vaesen?
Yeah.
Yes.
The answer is yes. You met the Doulahan.
The
next question-
the captain. So
Yes.
Oh, the captain.
Yes. But you didn't identify it as much. You encountered it, but you didn't identify it.
we did identify it though. We got it at the end that it was the water-based one that uses music to attract people for drowning.
Yes. The son of a neck.
Yes.
Yes, I forgot that. Thank you for reminding me. The next question is, did you visit a place of magic?
The
Now, unfortunately,
No.
you guys didn't really. However, one person of your party did in the encounter from going from some magical place to meet up with you and ran into the Banshee
Yes, that's right.
named Stevie. That's not her name. But they're a set of Banshees and they all hang out with Stevie. Stevie and the I'm not going to keep doing that. You guys get it. So that's another point there.
I also figured out what Obi meant when he said he's missing 2 feet.
He's less than 2 feet.
He's really short.
Yes, that was the joke.
It took me until he was climbing on the table and emphasizing, "No, it's so easy. I'm so tall."
He might have a little bit of a thing with his height. What will happen if you ever bring it up? I don't know. I
Probably
do.
something
But,
horrible.
well, we'll find out. It's an Ukobak. What can they do? A lot. What? Anyways, the next question
That's what
is: where were you subjected to magic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Please
some
explain.
of us.
When I had the head, the magic was used on me to take control of it.
Yes, it was.
Lily was
Lily
also
used
possessed.
her.
And
Used-
Lily used magic to be possessed by the. Yeah, there's 4 points. Did you bring an occult book or other important items back to the headquarters?
We brought it to hand.
Yeah, we brought a dude.
Yeah, but that's not an item.
That's true.
Bring in important items.
Does
back.
it count if it left and came back?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see what you were trying to do there, but no, unfortunately not.
She brings that
That-
book everywhere.
Yes, she does.
Don't we have the mayor, not the mayor, the foreman's charm, the owner?
Yeah.
Oh, the gold coin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ocean's.
It's
Little
not
token.
magic.
Okay.
It's
just
just gold.
Technically, we brought the Doulahan back because we assisted him, and
Yes, but the Doulahan is not an
Same.
item.
you're right.
But his skull was.
We
Yeah,
didn't
but
bring
he
the skull
gave his
back,
skull
though.
back. That's the issue. You can argue it as much as you want. Unfortunately, no, you don't get that point.
That's
I tried.
We
Did
tried.
you make important contacts?
yes.
Yeah.
This is where you get to say
Peter.
yes. The Peter is an important contact. Was the mystery particularly difficult or epic?
That's your choice.
Now, let's be honest.
I wouldn't say epic.
No.
It
Someone
was,
guessed it on the first goddamn try. I'm kidding.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
difficult for Anya from a moral standpoint.
It was difficult for all of you from a moral standpoint, but that's not enough.
Yeah, that's
Dang.
And finally, did you solve the mystery?
Yes.
Yes, you did. So with that, and an additional 6 resource points I'm giving you because I'm feeling really generous, you guys get to build, you guys get to look at the facilities that we have, and as long as you can, and as long as you check off the prerequisites, you can make some of these. For those of you in the wonderful Twitch audience, yes, for those of you who are wondering on our Twitch audience, some of these include things like an armory, a botanical garden, an infirmary. Actually, I'll quickly go over which ones you already have as well. A shooting range, seance parlor, a workshop, and some of these are places you can discover, and we'll have to spend resource points in uncovering, essentially.
I also
The
really
ones-
like the. Oh,
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say I really like that one of the options is the carp pond.
It's a nice little thing.
Nice little fish pond.
Currently, in your guys' possession, you have the facilities that have been unlocked for you by the lovely Vaesen that have been keeping this place a little open and a little taken care of. You have the cellar vault, the dungeon, the gymnasium, infirmary, the kennel, because you have the dog. You only have one dog in the kennel, but you have the kennel. You have the library, which is always available, the local tavern, which is actually kind of outside of the castle and in the town, the seance parlor, the stables, and the annals of the society. If you need to ask if there's any need to ask what the local tavern is that you have unlocked, feel free to ask Louis de Maison, or feel free to ask Creature, as Louis de Maison has already seemed to disappeared into some small hole. No, it's much nicer than that. It has a little doorway and everything, but it's still shaped like a mouse hole. So it's got a little handle and a lock, so he travels through the walls, it looks like.
so I guess tour later.
Yes, he was suddenly let know of some goblin in the vicinity accidentally coughed up a lung again, that he had to go and clean that up. Luckily, it'll grow back, but it's just a pain in the ass.
So rename and get to know her. Got some.
Could I take one more glance at the book and roll learning?
Yes.
Okay, and I get a +2 to that because I have the bookworm talent.
All right. Give me that. Once you have it, give me that roll, and we will I will double check what you can learn.
3 success.
That's really good. All right.
In a pool of 9, I'd hope so.
Yes. One would hope so. Well, one would be wrong. I'm kidding. For learning, as what are you trying to learn specifically? And which book are you looking at?
The one that Creature gave me.
Okay. So by looking through, what are you trying to learn?
The ways that these creatures can come to be, and the nature of said creature.
All right. Because you found it, you rolled so well. I will give you that, and I will explain some of the information as much as I can. So Draugr are one of the essentially servants or spirits of the dead of a place called Helheim. Helheim being the land of the unglorious dead. And essentially what you would be familiar with as a Christian sort of hell for sinners, whereas Asgard being the wonderful place to go, not Asgard, Valhalla being the wonderful place to go, and Helheim being the worst. See, the burp agrees with me. The way that Draugr come to be is by someone living either an unpleasant life and dying not in battle. And so Draugr come into being by essentially just being someone who died up above ground. Now, Draugr usually stay in Helheim. However, some can be pulled into the world by either finding the body that they belong to and summoning their spirit once more, or by opening a portal and summoning Draugr through that portal, which can allow for much more in a much faster way, but in a much more temperamental, short lifespan.
Sorry, could you repeat the first thing? The first way.
The first way is by finding their host body and using a summoner or powerful necromancer, summoning their spirit back into their body. At least that is how it goes in this world.
Okay.
If that is completely incorrectly mythologically accurate, let me know in the comments of this video. Like and subscribe. I'm only
So
kind of
a
kidding.
summoner or powerful necromancer brings them
Powerful
back into
summoner
their
or
body.
necromancer, yes.
Okay.
They're also occasionally referred to as ice zombies. They share this title with another, more American creature.
Thank you.
Or at least this book refers to them sometimes as ice zombies, considering Helheim is the land of ice and all sorts of nastiness. So that is what you learn of Draugr.
She is kind of just reading it over like a few times, just kind of looking confused at it. And kind of
In the book given
closes
by
the book.
Creature, there is a photo of a table where one is being summoned from, and it sits up the way that you saw something sit up once before.
Yeah.
The thing is, it doesn't give any instructions on how one would summon a Draugr
Yeah.
or anything similar. It just gives showing of the Draugr.
She does want to figure that out, but we can go to other things.
We will eventually figure it out. But for now,
Yeah.
it seems that you're kind of tapped for as much as you can get from this book right now.
Yeah.
So after you guys have seen the wonderful, wonderful sheet filled with choices for facility making, and the things that you already know and the things that you have already unlocked slash already exist in the castle or outside the castle.
Before we
How do you
focus
wish
on
to
that-
proceed?
Before we focus on that, I assume Anya was reading this like for some time and quite intensely in front of the rest of us, right? Like that's not
Yeah.
gonna be missed by any of us.
No.
Unless you're not paying attention.
Yeah. Because you've been given something else to look at, I would like essentially a casual observation roll.
Sure.
Should I roll anything to come?
No, you're fine. You're
Yeah,
being
because
observed.
she would be like reading it pretty intensely because she's confused about it.
You said observation?
yeah. Empathy.
1 success.
So one success from Charlie as well.
Hagen is 100% not paying attention right now. He's talking to himself slash Bruford and giving him many pets.
Cool. It works perfectly. So both of you do notice that Lily is reading this book on Draugr
Anya,
Anya.
and Anya. What did I say?
Lily.
Lily.
I am insane. That Anya is in fact reading this book labeled Draugr, the Norse Undead, and seems to be very engrossed in it.
Charlie is just kind of like once it reaches a point where he's no longer like pulling her out of the book, she's like blinking and looking up. He's gonna just kind of gently touch her forearm and be like, "Something has you concerned."
Not necessarily concerned. Confused, if anything.
About?
The information with a lack of other information.
If it is a spirit, I might know something.
Nothing else. If it's a burden, they're easier shared.
Well, I'll get you to look at this then. And she points to the part of how they can come to be. Just kind of simply confused about it.
Sarah was gone and missed it, but Lily was here.
Yeah, I think the part she's referencing was that Draugr are summoned into existence by necromancers, as
Or a
opposed to
summoner.
existing naturally.
They do exist, but they exist in a realm outside of the realm that you would be. How many points for it? And for any of you who are also wondering for anyone wondering what leveling up looks like, it is 5 talent points. 5. No, it's in there. It's 5.
Experience.
Yeah, 5 experience points for any enhancement or talent. Sorry, go on, please.
I mean, I know my family, it wasn't that, but they did summon things.
Perhaps there was someone else in the hospital then.
Or if they're anything older, maybe we can talk to Creature and figure out if there's any books in here that might be older, specifically on what you're looking for.
Well, there are blank sections. I'm relatively unsure how to figure out. But I can just do more reading another time.
I guess my question is, do you think this is the thing that you saw?
It was in the book. That was the body I did an autopsy on. In the book that was in the castle when I arrived.
But your connection to it is that one of these was summoned in your outside of the castle.
My connection to it is that woke up on my table right as I was pronouncing time of death.
Oh, damn it. My mic is unmuted. Sorry about that, everybody.
Aha, technical issues. We are professionals.
Welcome,
The voice
Drew.
just had an otherworldly cadence to it. So if this creature is summoned, it was either summoned before it was on your table and it's submitted to an autopsy, or it was summoned mid-autopsy. Right?
That's the only way that works, right?
I don't know. Though all I know is what's on the paper.
If only there was a bony person that could help you with any of these questions.
Hey, I was just about to go there, GM.
Yeah, that's kind of where Lily is going as well, is we should go see Creature.
Wouldn't creature know better than us as to what they would have to have done beforehand, or if it was accomplished while you're on the table, if there was something you might have noticed. I mean, I only know from stories. There's supposed to be candles and witches and dancing and
There's
And
not that much.
dancing.
There's not that much dancing at rituals. I know the
That
story
much. You guys don't at rituals.
sometimes.
I've never
I
been
didn't
to
even know
I
rituals
only know stories.
were real, and now I'm figuring out you dance.
Yes, but it's not the type of dancing you would think. I mean,
Is it
this-
accompanied by music?
of course. Normally,
Alright.
like a chanting or a drum.
What kind? Like a drum, okay. I was thinking like a fiddle or a flute.
No, mostly like a drum or chanting.
Hmm.
But the
Fascinating.
spells are, and she kind of blushes at this, are more for other things, and I was only allowed to go to one when I was old enough.
Curly kind of like, he clearly has questions, but he's also like kind of looks at like Lily's, general noble attire and like demeanor and stuff like that, and he clearly just like bites them off in his head. Like, I can't ask this
When
about.
they say dancing, I'm picturing like there's this one photo of it's like art of the dude like bent back into a circle. For some reason, I'm picturing that, and also like wacky, wavy, inflatable tube man, but more human style.
she, what she's referencing is very, very different.
Like a
Yeah, that, but also naked.
Those are the stories
Fascinating.
Charlie's heard. So
Yeah.
that's what he's not asking.
And that's what
Lily
she's like
about.
worried that like you're going to start questioning. She's like, kind of sees your face,
So-
Charlie, and is like, they're more for fertility rituals.
and what does the dance look like?
It she looks
I'm-
around
I'm
Called the
I'm
four-legged
genuine-
horizontal shuffle.
I'm genuinely fascinated. I didn't even I didn't think magic or anything like that existed until
it does.
we got here.
And for how it looks, most of the time, the one time I was allowed to see it, and that was during my training, was to help another family member conceive. And there was not many clothes and fire and kind of very traditional thoughts of what a ritual is, although those are the rare ones.
Oh,
Charlie just is
Interesting.
like,
It's not
I-
exactly polite to do in front of men. Looking at Charlie and Agate.
all the stories that I know
Oh,
come to me.
so
from-
there's something happening. Sorry, I was distracted. Rufus, he's trying to teach him how to shake pies. He's not getting it.
um, yeah, Charlie will just kind of smile, like let the train of thought go. I have an idea for a name. Who does it? Well, this area that we're in, city. Second, I'm getting the name so I say it correctly. Salika. We've got stories from Danes and from Polish and German and Russian. One of the stories that I was thinking about when Agate told his story about fighting the tree and losing his eye is the story of Odin. Says how he gained his wisdom. It says there was a sailor on one of the ships I was on that told it a lot. It says about how he cut it out, cast it into a well beneath a tree. And says, and you have problems with Draugr, or had one.
I
Says something
I wouldn't
from
say it was a problem, just
an experience with one.
yeah. It's just strange and
Says,
kind
and
of
I'm thinking,
frightening.
I'm thinking about our trip to Ireland and the Doulahan, and that the role that I see us being is as something of a barrier between human realm and the Vaesen realm, something that divides it. He says for the protection of both sides. He says because humans will put force to the torch as readily as the Doulahan will take a human life. It says so. One of the things that came from that same mythology is Yol, a river that divides the living and the dead. Says so. Castle Yol should serve as something that divides those two places. Not out of malice, but out of protection for both.
I do like that. I had two of them. I put it into chat, the first one. I will say I'm not that creative, and looks down at the cat who gave her the second idea. And neither is Ed, but the first one just being the society or the sanctuary.
I quite like the sanctuary.
Ed thought it worked since this is where we're supposed to feel safe. And others
And
can also feel safe.
we leave I guess in the case that we did, to make others feel safe. Quite like that.
I'm sorry, Charlie, if Yours seems to be much more intellectual than mine.
I
I
feel
like the
like
goal of yours.
I didn't fully hear yours. I do apologize.
Charlie smiles and says, I'm not bothered. It's just an idea.
Yes, I do like both of them. It seems that both of your ideas have almost crossed paths in a way. Protection for people to feel safe and protection of each side of the realms, so to speak. No, I've not had many ideas myself, but I'll continue to ponder it if we do not settle on something.
I know. Instead of Castle Greenwood, we could be Sanctuary Guild.
It has nice ring to it.
If you
Try will just kind of like, if there are any other ideas, now would be the time.
I've got nothing.
I got it. Oh no.
Or be listening. Or be always listening. Or be think you see a little head pop up from like the other side of the table.
Very
Or
full
be
of
always
jokes,
listening.
too.
It's just you know, it's thing or be too.
Yeah, the joke is
Orby-
exactly what
Orby
Lily
was-
does as well.
Or be briefly think Castle Muck Puddle, but you know, your idea is much better. Orby proposes compromise. Compromise. Compromise.
As the name of the castle.
No. What? No. Stupid name, compromise. No one like compromise. I mean, but you will like compromise. You be Castle Sanctuary, Guardians of Yule. Full name. It's easy just to say, then we go back Sanctuary. And then Sanctuary, Keepers of Yule. It worked nicely. It's just what Obi think, you know. But what Obi know? Obi only omnipotent being. What? No, Obi not that.
Is a good idea. I just I fear maybe a little bit too long for people to remember all of it.
What about the girls' sanctuary?
That also work. You smarter than Obi.
I'm going. I'm going to check the book that was here when I arrived. On like look for Obi and see if omnipotent being has been entered into the book.
Underneath Obi, you see a little frog, man, sort of thing, and it just says, "I don't know what the fuck." Your book has fully given up on trying to classify Obi.
Fascinating.
And then underneath, I don't know what the fuck. It also says, "Maybe God?" Question mark.
And then like a little shrugging. What's a thing?
The shrugging emoji?
Not like the Lenny faces, but it's like
Oh no, like
Like
a
the
fully
ASCII.
shrugging, like a fully shrugging picture of Obi shows up. Just I don't know,
I don't know.
and then it disappears.
Book just says Obi not know either.
No, the book just goes. It's complicated. Let's not pull this thread too much.
Lily, I do like your idea for the name, by the way.
I like both. It was just an idea.
Yeah, like the lost thing you said.
The Gogi Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So it decided. Or go tell creature. Bye. Then flap 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 flap.
I think we're headed that way. But now I'll go after her.
Yeah.
My friend's following Orby.
Because you know
We
what creature is.
Yes.
Oh, but Orby's going to library. Creature always in library, unless he's in doctor office, but he always in library.
Oh, I've forgotten. Could we get a quick refresher on how many upgrading points we have?
12?
Well, total, right?
12 total.
Wonderful.
I gave you that because some of these facilities cost like 6.
And does that include our own?
Oh no, that's it's the groups. So not individual is not an individual. Each person gets individual development points. It's as a society, you get development points.
Okay, because I was thinking, like, do our resource points account for that? Like, go into it as well.
Yes, no, your resource points and the resource points that Castle already had have been combined for 12.
Um,
So you all arrive in the library. Obi makes you wait for just a second as he opens both doors to the library. You watch him, and he goes, no, and he makes it very apparent that he doesn't want any help with doing this, even though it's going to take like an extra 10 seconds. Because he wants to do this all on his own to show that he's a big boy now. No, that's not quite right.
Have a lot of tiny Vaesen with big
just
attitudes.
those 3. Maybe 4. But yes. Depends on how big you find Elmer. But as you go in, creature is working at the stacks, writing something down, and also it's I'm just gonna give this. Charlie notices that the latest saga he wrote seems to be in creature's hand as he's looking for the right place to put it. He slides it into the shelf. Looks very pleased with himself.
yeah, so Lily's gonna ask creature, are there any sections of the library that we can't get to currently?
Well, if you're looking for the books you can't access, they're not all kept in the library.
Where would
You
they
might find some in the parlor.
Yep.
In
And
That would be where to look.
the occultist's room.
Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome. May I ask what this was in lieu of?
Anya, do you want to explain?
I'm confused about information. And I just need more. I'm connecting dots, I guess.
Very well. If you need any assistance,
I have a question. Can a Draugr be summoned remotely?
please repeat your question. I got very distracted by Obi suddenly eating something on the floor that maybe he shouldn't have.
Charlie will kind of look down at it with the back of the creature and be like, can a Draugr be summoned remotely? Can the ritual that brings one into the
Remotely.
world be done away from the body?
Away from the body. Rarely is something like that capably possible. Let me answer with a question of my own. Are you looking for the answer to know if something, if they can be if they can be risen elsewhere while you are somewhere else? Or are you looking for, and out of curiosity or for a specific reason, are you looking for this information?
For a specific reason. Anya
Very well.
was.
I have one last question then. And he turns directly to Anya. Are you ready to suffer the consequences of learning? Are you ready for the information that you may not want? What will you do if the information is disturbing?
Consequences. I just want to understand.
Everyone wants to understand. But not everyone understands. There are consequences for understanding. Do you understand?
I'd say vaguely, I understand, but I don't understand what those consequences may be.
Very well. Know that there is no turning back once you know. Go then, Anya Roman, trusted by the dead. Go and seek your answers. And if you need me, and he comes over and hands you guys, here are your Rocky Talkies. I'm always just a phone rock away.
Thank you.
A rock call? I don't know which one works better. Rock call works better.
Still like Rocky Talkies.
I just don't want to be confused. I want to get rid of that confusion.
The answers you seek may seek only to give you more questions.
Well, if that may be, then there's more to learn.
Then, and creature, the mouth parts in such a way where the first time you see rows upon rows of sharp white teeth that seem to be smiling in the way that they're shaped.
I wish you luck, Miss Ronan. Do not come and blame me for finding what you seek.
Why would I blame you? I guess you warned me.
Precisely.
Vaguely you warned me, but you did warn me.
Well, the best warnings are always vague. No one wants a
would have
specific
to-
warning.
The
I would
opposite.
have to disagree. I would
Let-
have
let-
to disagree.
In this line of work, specific warnings would break your brain. It's not exactly a great idea.
Like if I said, "Oh, look out for this," they'll eat your skull and slurp the marrow from your bones at the same time. You'll just go, "Why the fuck am I going?" And it's because you have a job to do. But no, that's a different thing.
That is a very helpful and very specific one.
Yes, definitely not based on real world events.
Lily in hopes, because he said dire consequences, and Lily's like, oh no, like, this is actually someone that I might actually, like, want to be friends with. So she pulled the world in hopes of protecting Anya.
Okay. Into the sheet of
Of how bad can this go?
did you draw it upright or upside down?
How bad can this be?
Yeah.
Hey
Upright.
Siri, play How Bad Can I Be from the Lorax.
I like that song,
It's a
actually.
good song.
It is.
Ah.
Where are you, you little tiny furry
Where
pants?
are you?
Sorry.
Why did I tick that?
No.
I'm so sorry.
Um,
Not a tick. I'm chilling.
as you pull the world, you end up all in the seance parlor with the books in front of you, exactly what you need and what are you looking for.
Okay. Is this
Including
we are
creature.
transported through the castle instantly to it, or is you talking like we're flashing forward now to the seance parlor?
Oh no, you were all transported like from where you were. The second the card goes, aha! Moment to shine. It takes that moment and then immediately does it. And okay, you are safe.
Charlie's gonna look to Lily and be like, can that not be a reflex?
I heard she was in danger. I just wanted to help.
I'm just making the request.
I will try to be better.
I appreciate you
Here
trying
you
to.
go, Miss Ronan.
And a set of tendrils move from underneath the robe cloak thing through the neck hole to grab the book and you just place it directly in front of you. Not on the ground, just holding it there, waiting for you to grab it.
I'm going. I grab it.
And
yeah.
on the title, it says The Truth of Anya Ronan.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped and upside down. She's gonna take a sit. Are there seats? I'd assume so.
Oh, there are pillows and beanbag chairs, but they're not called beanbag chairs. They're called big pillows.
She's gonna sit on one of the pillows. And take a gander. Should I
Pillow's
roll
right in front of the
learning?
tentacle table.
Wait, what?
The pillow gets moved over so you can just like sit down from where you're standing. And then creature looks at the rest of you and just kind of goes,
Do you want to know as well?
No. Do we want our, I assume, our respective books?
Oh,
Or do we
yes, that
want-
is exactly what I mean.
I'm not saying what that one was because that was a really bad card.
Uh-oh.
It was the tower, wasn't it?
Huh?
It
No,
was the tower, wasn't it?
judgment.
Oh.
Upside down or
Fuck.
upright?
Upright.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds bad.
This is the card for it.
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Whoa.
The card looks like doesn't help anything for that for you. In front of each of you and right
Did not.
behind your legs are a chair and a table drawn in front of you with your own respective book saying the truth about Lily O'Connell, Agatha Leck, Anya Ronan, and Charlie, no last name given.
The creature. I This isn't exactly what I wanted, but I assume I'll get the information I needed. Never mind.
Well, the answers to what you seek lay in front of you. What, pray tell, will you do?
Kind of hesitantly, like she sits there kind of hesitant before turning the front cover.
You open it to the first page.
Is there a glossary?
No, the pages are blank. However, they're not without information. In fact, they kind of begin to flit very quickly and seem to almost swirl around as you start to lose your vision, sitting in the chair with the book. As you slowly begin to understand what the book is trying to tell you, without reading a single word, as visions flash through your mind. Does anyone else read their book?
Yes.
Lily O'Connell. Same, essentially the same thing happens. Agate.
Yep. I'll sit down. Rupert will kind of like lay across my lap.
All right. And Charlie, as the only one who didn't chose not to read the book, Richard nods at you and smiles, and begins speaking once more.
I appreciate your patience, your tolerance, and your ability to withhold.
And takes the book back. With a flourish, it's gone. So we'll start in order. Anya, you see fields of dead before you. And you standing in the very center of this field. However, you feel no fear. You feel no confusion. You smile as you go through your bag, as you open your bag filled with supplies of being a doctor, and begin reaching for a strange, thin instrument. You notice it's very similar to the piece that you were holding. You notice that it was similar to a piece that you were holding once, and especially once you were holding it when declaring a time of death, not out of any need, but out of just a sense of wanting to. As you do, it seems like you tap on an invisible, what are they called? You hold the papers and the sheet music on them. It'll come to me eventually. Podium. Tap on an invisible podium. Yes, I completely ruined that moment. I'm so sorry. And begin almost orchestrating. And the dead, and you see in front of you a spine suddenly shoot upward, but bending wrong as it continues to move in jerky motions and stands before you. What you can see and understand as a vision of undeath. As you conduct more arise, and you see, continuing through, that the dead will rise. They speak to you.
You know them. And you know you can control them or leave them as they are. And they say thank you, Anya Ronan, great necromancer, trusted by the dead. And then with that, your vision fades and you return to the real world. A vision of not what might, not what is, not what will be, or even what might, but a vision of what you are. All right.
As she comes out, she hears the screams and cries that she can't seem to shake off as a hallucination anymore.
Yes. And even then, standing before you, looking a creature, you see that he too is an undead. Lily!
As she realizes she can't shake the screams and cries and can't shake it as a hallucination anymore, her eyes sort of, they become glossy and kind of pool with tears. She doesn't know how to take the information.
It seems you are not quite ready for the consequences. We're gonna skip right over to Lily now.
Yes.
Lily, you see yourself casting magic in ways that were never possible before. And you notice you are not using a deck of cards when you do so. But as you look at yourself, as if a spirit looking at as if looking at you as someone else would be looking at you, you see a very tired, drained human being. It seems almost as if they want none of this. And as you look, you see the bracelet that sits around your wrist of the snake eating its own tail seemingly covers your entire arm now, not just your wrist. Moving around and all of you. As you look closer, you see you aren't in control here. Instead, that thing that you're wearing is in control. The thing you've never been able to take off. And as if knowing that you're there looking at it, the snake head moves from no longer around your arm, but sitting around your neck. It turns and looks directly into the spiritual form of yourself that you are looking at you, and smiles with the way a snake only can, and says, "You were never the magic one. You were merely my keeper, the third keeper. Why do you think your mother and grandmother could no longer cast magic once you were born? Did you ever stop to question it?" And with that, you were pulled back into the real world. The snake bracelet that you wear on your wrist suddenly looking very different to you. And also, from the way you're looking at it, is exuding an aura of nervousness.
yeah, Lily's just gonna, and she's trying to do this very sneakily, of looking down her wrist and kind of whispering to herself, but I trusted them.
And that may have been your greatest mistake. I am sorry, Lily O'Connell, third witch's keeper.
And now we move to Agate. This one is weird. Because as
Alright.
opposed to seeing some, you see yourself standing in the midst of a battlefield, but not a battlefield of men. Gods and titans and monsters and all sorts surround you, not attacking you, but fighting with each other on all sides. You see a once golden wheat field stained red with blood. Branches of a great tree beginning to crack. And on that great tree, you see many, many different places, realities you don't know. You see a dragon, you see a great snake, an eagle, a deer with long, great horns, a squirrel running back and forth between these places, seemingly holding mail. And as you look around, there's something odd. You have depth perception. You touch your face, and in it you feel that there's an eye there. It seems to be made of something harder than your actual eye, and inscribed with a symbol instead of a pupil. And as you look around, there's a slight realization of what this is. You have stumbled into Ragnarok. Fighting with men and women, and beast and god. You turn and you see friends, enemies turned friends, friends turned enemies, those who've always been friends, those who've always been enemies. Looking around, you see a glorious battlefield and just a strange sensation that this is where you belong. And you see a man looking at you from a distance, jealousy in his eye. His eye. A patch covers one of his eyes. And looking forward, you see the great spear Gungnir as he rides upon a six-legged horse. Say, and in Norse speaks, I want back that which is mine. As a giant wolf pounds the ground, rushing and running behind him. And then you are pulled back into reality. And you look around. It seems that your friends that have gone into the book seem worse for wear. But you feel glorious.
Coming out of the vision, I can feel the the heat of the light coming off of the patch, but there's no burning sensation this time. It's not painful. It's not
If you lift-
painful like most visions are.
Do you lift the patch to see if what you saw in the vision was the same?
He sees the he brings his hand up close and sees the symbol that the light is making looks different than before. Very slowly
It's more
reaches
distinct
under
this
the eye
time.
patch.
And under the eye patch, you feel an eye where none should be.
Holy
was your-
shit.
How was your trip, Keeper of the Eye of Sacrifice? Now,
Creature looks to all of you.
I'm certain you don't have time to unpack all of that, especially considering what I'm about to do is so much worse.
Uh-oh.
And he pulls out a letter smelling of salt water and seaweed and fish. Heavily of fish. He holds the letter and goes, "Would you like to read it now or later?"
Reach for it.
Charlie, as you reach for it, you open it. Do you open it?
Yeah.
All right. And you read what's in the letter. And in it it says, "To whom it may concern, my name is Oscar Udgren, priest of the fishing village of Fjallbacka. It is with heavy heart that I write these lines. I'm at my wit's end with my current predicament, and so I turn to you. My church met with members of your exalted order prior, in your sovereign city of Salaka. Now, I place hope in your particular talents and fields of expertise. My best friend and mentor, Vicar Carl Eric Hedqvist, is dead. His body was found a week ago, washed up on the beach of Fjallbacka Archipelago. The coroner has identified the cause of death as a self-inflicted gunshot to the head and written it off as a suicide. I refuse to accept this conclusion, certain that there is something unnatural afoot, and I know who's responsible. What I lack is proof and the means to do something about it. I last saw Carl Eric alive 1 week before he was found dead. He was once again heading out to the Wrecker Isle in the archipelago to bring the word of God to the depraved seafarers frequenting the inn on the island. Wrecker Island is a hub for maritime traffic and the site of the largest herring saltery in the archipelago. Some days, the sea lane is so clogged with boats and ships that people can walk across them halfway to Fjallbacka. Wrecker Isle reeks of herring and sin, a godless stain on this earth. The proprietors of this den of thieves, herring Baron Zacharias Amundsen and his mother Abella, whom the locals call the Godmother, are openly defying the teachings of our Lord and have thrown out the good vicar every time he visited Wrecker Isle. I am convinced that the herring Baron and the Godmother, along with Zacharias' feeble-minded but dangerous older brothers, Paul, Pete, and Pace, are doing the devil's bidding and are to blame for Carl Eric's untimely death. I shall go to Wrecker Isle to find proof of their guilt and face these henchmen of Satan face to face. I require your assistance in this perilous endeavor. If you cherish your God and wish to help me, his humble servant in his time of greatest need, come to Fjallbacka at your earliest convenience. I will be awaiting thee at the church. With highest regards, Oscar Udgren.
Charlie reads all of that aloud, but can I ask for everybody else who's watching him read it to make an observation roll about him, or empathy, however?
Absolutely. Roll, you traumatized people.
Observation, you said?
Whatever is
Yep.
most appropriate for emotional,
Wrong button.
Empathy.
Sorry.
It's observation.
yeah.
Ignore that.
observation.
I hit the wrong thing.
1 success.
So Lily is probably the only one that gets it. I guess Charlie has it under better control than he suspects, but
Agate may see it, yes. Nope, it doesn't.
No successes.
At every mention of Vicar, Parish, etc., Charlie gets a little bit paler. And you've seen him like dive into storms without a second thought, but he looks genuinely frightened. But he closes the letter and says, "It looks like we have a task."
We would see you be on your way soon. I'm sounding Irish now. I shouldn't. And we see you on your way soon. Make way for Falbjaka or Fjallbaka. And also let me know what things you want us to do while you're gone. We'll fix up the place a bit.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that.
Enjoy the festivities when you're there. I hear their drink is quite good.
And with that, yes, I'm bringing it to an end at the worst possible time.
Nope, it's fine. It's us about to
Oh. All right.
With that, we bring an end to this session today. So I would like to begin our goodbyes by saying thank you to my wonderful players. In no particular order, I'm going to say thank you first. Actually, this is kind of a particular order, whatever. First, I'd like to say thank you to Ruth for bringing Anya Ronan and for diving into the deep end of your backstory, of some of your backstory stuff and the secrets that I have written about your characters.
I was just looking for like how it's done to try to connect the dots.
Oh yeah, no, that was what was going to happen initially. So thank you, Sarah, Lily O'Connell,
Jesus
for pulling
Christ.
some insane cards and making me go, okay, let's do this instead.
Oh, it was you. Rah.
Thank you, Rory, for bringing Agatlek. And just having fun with your pooch and enjoying the fact that I've made Fernando a guy who has a bit of a sensitivity issue about his height. Thank you so much to Siosa for bringing Charlie, no last name given, for bringing a very grounded character and someone who is willing to show resolve in the face of being shown the ultimate secret about themselves and deciding, I'm not ready for it yet. Potentially making the best decision out of the group. Thank you to our phenomenal producer, Hellhounds. Truly, the show wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you so much, even if you're only talking to us in voice to text. Thank you. Yes, you, the viewer. Nope, I need to go back. I skipped one. Thank you, chat, for talking so much and seeming to have a great time with us. I really enjoyed just reading and going along while everything was going. It was a hoot.
So
thank you.
In chat.
Oh, so many. Thank you, yes, you, the viewer. Whether you watch this live or on the VOD here on Twitch, or you came to see us on YouTube. If you watched us on Twitch, please be sure to give us a follow. We are here several days, nights a week. And if you found us via YouTube, please give us a like, comment on what you liked, and hit that subscribe button. If you came via Twitch, it may also help to ring that bell so you can see when we upload. Oh no, when you're on YouTube, it may help to ring that bell so you can see when we upload. Like the Vaesen of this game, I am terribly erratic and unpredictable about when I show up to do this game. Not because of any because life happens. It happens. Other than that, so long as we're not missing anything, as we always say here at Dirty 20 Gaming, please be nice to each other and take care.